Welcome to our space of hope and inspiration, where faith is ignited and the Word of God finds us right where we are. Thank you for being here and for allowing us to walk with you. Psalm 55-22. Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. You know, there's a precise moment in the early morning, perhaps at 3 or 4, when the silence is so absolute it makes noise. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Or the moment where there's a silence that isn't the absence of sound. It's the silence that comes after a tear that doesn't dare to fall. After a prayer that doesn't dare to say aloud. After an I'm fine that no one believes anymore. Not even you. You are here, now, reading this. Not to be chancing. Perhaps you've spent weeks feeling like your soul is a closed book, with pages stuck together by crying. Perhaps you've tried to speak, but people respond with platitudes. Everything passes. Be strong. Look what others have. And deep down, you want to scream, but I can't. I don't know how to go on, and that is sacred. Because what you feel isn't weakness, it's humanity. It's the echo of a soul that still believes, even though it hurts. That still hopes, even though time seems to have stopped. That still searches, even though it no longer knows what to search for. It's that moment when you wake up and before you even open your eyes, you feel the weight. It's not the weight of the sheets, nor the physical exhaustion of a day's work. It's something denser. It's as if, while you were sleeping, someone had placed a backpack full of stones on your chest, and there you are, staring at the ceiling in the dark, going over the endless list of I have to. What if it's not enough? What if I fail? That feeling that the whole world, or at least your world, depends exclusively on your ability to maintain your balance on a tightrope while juggling lit torches. If you've ever felt this way, I want you to know that you're not broken. You're not defective. You're simply human. And interestingly, that pressure you feel, that tension in your jaw, then not in your stomach, is the biological and spiritual signal that you're trying to fill a position that is you and yours to fill. CEO of the universe. Take a deep breath for a second. Hold it. Release it. Today, I want to speak to you as someone who has also felt their knees buckle. But I also want to speak to you with the certainty of science and the depth of the spirit. Because what happens to us when we're overwhelmed is a perfect storm. Your brain, that marvelous machine, goes into survival mode. Your amygdala hijacks your reason and screams, danger. If you relinquish control, everything collapses. And that's where psychology and faith meet at a fascinating intersection. Chronic stress stems from the perception that our resources are insufficient to meet the demands of our environment. Basically, we believe the problem is bigger than we can handle. But this is where ancient wisdom comes in. A text that has survived millennia not because it's a mere poem, but because it contains a fundamental truth about human nature. Psalm 55-22, Listen totis. Not as a Sunday phrase, but as an operational instruction for your life. Cast your burden on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. Let's break this down. Because words have power, and if we understand them, they can change our brain chemistry. The first key word is cast. In the original language, this word implies a physical movement, something violent. But it doesn't say gently place your burden, or share your burden. It says, throw it away, cast it out. It's the deliberate act of letting go. Imagine you have a burning ember in your hand. You don't hold it thinking, well, maybe if I hold it a little longer it will go out on its own. No. You drop it immediately because it burns you. Why, then, do we insist on holding on to worry, anxiety about the future and the pain of the past, as if they were trophies? The answer is simple. We've been sold the idea that worrying is synonymous with being responsible. We believe that if we stop worrying about a problem, it means we don't care. But that's a lie. Worry is like a rocking chair. It keeps you moving, gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Letting go of the burden isn't irresponsibility. It's the smartest resource management strategy there is. It's recognizing that your shoulders have a structural load limit and that you were designed to walk light, not to be a beast of burden. Now, let's talk about the second part. Your load. What exactly are you carrying? Sometimes we carry things that aren't even ours. We carry our parents' expectations, our partner's fears, competition with the neighbor, the pressure from social media to have a perfect life. We carry the guilt from mistakes made 10 years ago. That's emotional baggage. Casting your burden means taking an honest inventory and saying, this is too much for me. I don't have the solution for my mother's health. I don't have control over the world economy. I can't force this person to love me. And in that moment of brutal honesty, you transfer ownership of the problem. And here comes the promise, the part that connects with our need for security. And he will sustain you. Notice that it doesn't say, and he will instantly make everything perfect. It doesn't say the storm will disappear in a snap. It says he will sustain you. Do you know what that means? To sustain is to give the necessary nourishment, the necessary strength, the necessary support so that you don't break. It asks the difference between your roof collapsing and having pillars so strong that even if it hails and rains, the structure holds. God doesn't promise the absence of problems. He promises the presence of his strength in the midst of them. It's the guarantee that you won't disintegrate under pressure. When you trust, when you truly let go of control and say, God, this is yours. Your brain reduces cortisol production. Your heart rate slows. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that makes smart decisions, is Faith isn't an escape from reality. It's the tool that restores your mental clarity to face it. When you know you're supported, that there's a divine safety net beneath you, you dare to take steps that once terrified you. You stop acting from fear and start acting from purpose. And then, the text closes with a declaration of absolute loyalty. He will never let the righteous be shaken. We all fall. You've fallen. I've fallen. We've had days when we didn't want to get out of bed. We've had financial setbacks, heartbreaks, identity crises. Falling is part of life's gravity, but the promise is that this fall isn't your permanent home. Not forever. It's a station, not a destination. The righteous, those who seek to do what is right, those who align their hearts, may touch the ground, but they don't stay there. There is an outstretched hand, invisible yet real, waiting for the moment you stop struggling and take it to propel yourself upward. I want you to visualize something with me right now. Imagine you're at the edge of a cliff. You are carrying that heavy backpack we talked about at the beginning. It is full of stones with names, debts, loneliness, sickness, fear of failure. You are exhausted, and someone approaches you. It is not a judge, it is a Fateah. It is Jehovah. And he says to you, son, daughter, that's not for you. Give it to me. What do you do? Do you cling to the stones because they are yours, because you have grown accustomed to their weight? Or do you dare to make the bravest move of your life and let go? When you let go, the miracle happens. Suddenly, your hands are empty, and only empty hands can receive new things. As long as your hands are busy clinging to your pain and your need for control, God cannot place in them the new blessings, the creative ideas, the strategic connections he has prepared for you. You have to make space. The void left by worry is filled by peace, and that peace, as they say, surpasses all understanding. It's illogical. It's being able to smile in the midst of chaos. It's sleeping soundly even if your bank account is low, knowing that provision will come because your sustainer owns everything. What we're sharing here, this blend of understanding how our mind works, how our emotions move, and how everything connects to the divine, is vital. We cannot live fragmented. You can't be a giant in business and a spiritual dwarf. You can't have rock-solid mental health if your soul is starving. We need to integrate all that we are, and that's precisely why there's a space designed for you to delve deeper into this. Because a few minutes of reading or listening are a good start, a spark, but the fire is kept alive with constant fuel. I want to invite you to go beyond this reflection and join our community on the Gokrip channel. At Gokrip, we don't just talk, we build. We analyze life from these perspectives. It's a place for people like you. At Gokrip, we break down these truths so you can apply them in the morning, at your office, with your family, or in your solitude. It's a gym for your soul and mind. So, back to the psalm. The invitation is on the table. Life is too short and too beautiful to live, crushed by burdens. You have permission to relinquish the role of savior of the world. That role is already taken. Your job is to trust. Your job is to do what you can and let God do what you can't. Your job is to sow the seeds and let Him bring the rain. Feel your shoulders now. Lower them. Lower them. Lift your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Release tension in your stomach. This physical relaxation is a reflection of a spiritual decision. Today, decide to believe that you will be sustained. Not tomorrow, not when things get better. Today, in the midst of the problem, that's where sustenance is real. Because it's easy to trust when the sun is shining. But true faith, the kind that builds character, is the kind that trusts in the midst of the storm. Remember these. You are not alone in the trenches. There is a perfect design behind your apparent chaos. There is a purpose being born in your difficulty. And above all, there is a God who looks at you and says, "Give me that. I can handle it." You just walk. Don't keep the burden. It's not yours. Give it back, and when you do, you will feel that lightness that will allow you to run toward your destiny. I'll be waiting for you at Gokrip, where we will continue learning together to walk lightly, to think deeply, and to live with purpose. Because at the end of the day, a righteous person isn't defined by never falling, but by knowing who to lean on to get back up. It's your turn. Let go. Trust. Live. If this message touched your heart, LIKE, it'd help others find it. Subscribe to Gokrip, a channel that not only inspires, but transforms. Leave your prayer in the comments here. Leave your prayer in the comments. You're not alone.